and my wolf pack, it grew by one. So where there were two of us in the wolf pack. I was alone first in the pack, and then Doug joined in later.
Hello, guys. I'm flying solo today. Just me. Just going to get my opinions, my straight insanity and stupidity, whatever it is you like to call it. So, we got a request today from a buddy of mine on 10-Yard Torrents. He wants our opinion on Roger Goodell and why it is that he sucks so bad. So, here's our response. There's, we gotta give some love to the fans. But unfortunately, like I said, it's just me. So, sorry, man. You're just gonna get my opinion. But he told me that he hates him too. So it's basically whatever I say, the same opinion. So basically, I cannot stand Roger Goodell. I haven't liked him. I liked him when he first started. I can't remember why I didn't like Paul Tagliabue, because at this point, holy crap, that guy was a god compared to Roger Goodell. But I can't stand anything that Roger Goodell's about. He's a businessman, so congratulations. He brought more casual fans into watching the game. He brought more of the international market. So he's brought a lot more money to the game and a lot more exposure and media hype and all that stuff, because you can tell, because they've, the ratings every game pretty much seem to break another record, especially the playoff games. And I saw stats from last year, a couple years ago, where a preseason game had just as many ratings, like the highest rated preseason game had just as many ratings as one of the games of a World Series. So that shows you how popular the NFL is. But so congrats to Roger Goodell for that. But everything else, these rule changes, talking about putting a team in London, talking about putting the Super Bowl over there, talking about taking away extra points. I mean, all of this is just, it just sucks. I mean, he wants to say that he's about player safety, but in the same breath, he wants to take away extra points and basically add more plays into the game because it's more exciting. So he wants to make it more exciting, but he cares about player safety. He doesn't care about player safety. Any of you guys that are watching this who thinks that Roger Goodell gives a fuck about anyone that's playing, you're lost your mind. Football is the modern day gladiator sport. Back when they had gladiators and they had slaves and stuff fighting animals and fighting each other, you think they cared? You think they cared how the well-being of those people? They didn't care. It's all about entertainment. It's about money. He cares about the money because he works for the owners. More money the owners get, the more money he gets. He's in bed with all the owners. They all love him because he's bringing in so much money. People like me who sit here and complain about him still sit on Sunday and watch all the games because, we're suckers, and they know that, So it's not like any of this is going to change. It's just kind of just a rant basically of why I don't like him. The whole like I said, the whole player safety thing is a sham. It sounds good for the media. It sounds good for the concussion lawsuit, but it's not. He doesn't care. It's just like a big boss at a huge, like a Best Buy. Say the CEO of Best Buy. Do you think he cares about the cashier that works at some fucking small ass Best Buy and in the middle of nowhere? No, he doesn't care. He cares about the money, and it's not all his fault. I mean, you can't really care about everybody. Especially for them, it's a numbers game. They just see these people as employees. I highly doubt Roger Goodell even likes football. Like I'm sure, obviously he watches it and stuff, but he's a businessman by trade. That's why he made it to the NFL. That's why he was in the front office. That's why he worked for Tagliabue, and that's why he was picked to run it now, because he was a businessman and he knew how to bring more money to the league, and he did that. But I mean, it goes not just to the extra point thing, but changing the kickoff from the 30 to the 35, which is actually pretty funny because there is a lot of there's a lot of touchbacks, but there's also a lot of people taking kickoffs from like 9 yards back in the end zone, because some of those guys, that's the only thing they do. They're a kick returner, or they're a punt returner, they're both. That's all they do. So they're gonna take as many out as they can. So I think he has some some more risks that he wasn't thinking about with that. But same with the high hits. He said, okay, you can't hit above the shoulder. So what do people do? They start taking knees out. Look at Brandon Merriweather, the Redskins. He said, hey, I get a fine in my paycheck if I hit you in the head. So sorry, man, but I'm gonna hit you in the knee. I'm gonna take your knee out, and if it costs your career, I'm sorry, but it's costing me money. Which I'm sure a lot of players are like that. They feel bad for the guys that they're playing against because they're all colleagues and everything. And they all call themselves brothers and everything. But I mean, they don't care that much. I mean, they're getting fined in their paychecks for hits like that. So they're gonna say, okay, if I aim for their waist, the guy's gonna bend down. Then I'm gonna hit him in the head, and guess what? I'm gonna get fined again. So I can't aim for the waist. I got to go lower than that. Because if I aim for the knee, then sometimes I'll hit a waist, I'll hit a thigh, but a lot of times I'm gonna hit a knee. But they got to look out for themselves too. So another thing that Goodell thinks he's doing such a good job stopping concussions and everything else, but he's causing huge blowout knee injuries too. So add on that, you got his talk about adding a team in London, which is just absurd. He said recently to a group of London fans, he said, you are proving you are worthy of a franchise. Now, he is saying that they're worthy of a franchise because they had 500,000 fans at a pre-game event, I think last year. Yeah, that's because there's one, maybe two games there, so it's a big event for them. If they have a team over there and they have games every week and that team sucks, you really think that they're going to get that many fans to show up to these games every week? No, it's a novelty to them right now. If you're from the UK and a bunch of fans and everything that would go to game, I mean, please comment, let me know. But from what I know, they obviously the whole world knows that everyone cares about soccer more. So I don't think they're gonna get as many fans. We can't even get fans to show up in American cities. So why are we gonna start putting teams over in other countries? It doesn't make sense to me. Why don't you put a team in, say, like Nebraska? And you can laugh your ass off. You can say whatever, but they had the UFL for those couple of years. Omaha had a team, and they were able to field that team pretty much every game. I think they sold out every game. They're the only team to do it. Nebraska's starving for football. They don't have much over there. They have Nebraska football team, but Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Utah. You got all these states over there that don't have anything. They don't have a sports team. Well, why don't you put one right there in the middle? Put it in like Lincoln. Put it right in the middle. Put a team there. How about we try to exhaust the U.S. before we start putting teams in other countries? It just doesn't make sense to me. And as a funny side note, if London comes to the NFL, what division or what conference are they going to put them in? The American Football League or American Football Conference or the National Football Conference? Who knows? But just thinking about a team in London they're 6 hours ahead of us. No, they're 5 hours ahead of Eastern time. So that puts them 8 hours ahead of. So what happens when the London team goes out and has to travel to Oakland and play at 1 o'clock local time? You kidding me? I mean, it's just the logistics of it make no sense whatsoever. There's players that have come out and said they would rather not even play in the NFL than have to move their entire family over there. And then what do they move their family over and then they get cut and have to come right back? I think it just sounds good. I don't know if it'll ever happen. A lot of things I don't like about Goodell are just things that he says that he wants, but it's the fact that he even says it, that he's even thinking about it. I think it's just absurd. And even to put a Super Bowl over there, yet, granted, I do give him some credit. He said that there won't be a London Super Bowl over there, most likely, unless there's a London team. And that's basically because they only put Super Bowls in cities that they have a team already. So I do give them some props about that. But even if they do, I mean, the Super Bowl is played about 6:30, and there's usually like a 20 to 30 minute halftime. So game's not over till usually games last about 3.5 hours because of fucking commercials. So you think about 10 o'clock, a normal time. So you think about 10:30, 11, the game's going to be over next weekend, right? So say this game starts at 6:30. If they still want it to be played at 6:30 Eastern time, they're gonna have to play it at 11:30 local time in London. You're gonna play an NFL game at 11:30 at night and have it be over at 3 o'clock in the morning? No, it all this stuff just doesn't make sense. It sounds good on paper, or maybe, you know, maybe it's because I'm one of those kind of people that just I don't like change, or I don't like this. I think, maybe they think they're visionaries. Like, oh, let's just, why say no to it? We're gonna make some money over there. It's just, I think you're alienating your fan base by putting the Super Bowl, or putting our biggest game, or American football. It's called American football for a reason. This is our, it's America's sport. It's our thing. Don't take the goddamn Super Bowl away, fucking Goodell. Come on, man. So you got even players. Derek Mason back in 2011 said that Roger Goodell was a joke. Bernard Pollard last year said that Roger Goodell is killing the NFL and it won't be around in 30 years, which I could see. The way all these rule changes are going to be. I mean, everyone jokes about it, but really, look how close we are to flag football or touch football. You can't touch receivers. If they're actually trying to catch a ball, you're not allowed to hit them because they're defenseless. Again, what the hell is a defenseless receiver? Isn't the whole point of a defense is to make sure the offense isn't able to do what they want to do? I don't even know what a defenseless receiver. That just makes no sense whatsoever. I could see the whole kicker and punter, because they're like half a football player. And hey, I was a kicker in high school, but yeah, if your only job is out there to kick, then you're half a player. So I can understand when they say that those guys are defenseless and you got to protect those guys. But a receiver, there is no such thing as a goddamn defenseless receiver. That is just absurd. It's just stupid to me. But anyways, guys, I could go on like this forever. I can't stand Roger Goodell. I love it. I love it to death that how much he gets booed at the draft. So if you're watching this and you go to the draft, please continue that awesome tradition of booing the hell out of Roger Goodell. That would be hilarious. But that's it, guys. Rant over. Hope you guys have a good one. Go Lions. Go Skins. Peace out.